Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Shichida Shining Stars podcast, a podcast where we address all the questions parents have about early childhood education. My name is Mr. Dan, and with me today is a very special guest, the Centre Manager for our Shichida Australia High Point campus, Joanne Soon. Hi, Joanne.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us today, Joanne. Joanne is here to help us talk about memory today and the importance of facilitating a strong memory in kids as they're growing up to help them learn. So, Joanne, is memory important?
Of course, yes, memory is very important. That makes our personality. A person is actually made of memory. All we know about ourselves, about our life is all depending on our memory.
Yeah, 100%. And in the context of kids learning as well, how important is it for kids to have a strong memory?
For me, I remember why we want Jacqueline to be strong in her memory because, like I said, every individual's personality is made from their memory. But of course, for children, for a young kid, memory is very important for them. Memory helps with their ability to encode information, store and retrieve information. And of course, it is vital for their learning.
So, yeah, you mentioned Jacqueline. Jacqueline is, of course, your daughter, who is actually a Shichida graduate, right? How old is Jacqueline now?
Oh, she has turned 16 last December, so almost 16 and a half now.
And when did she start at Shichida?
Jacqueline started Shichida when she was just turning 20 months old. That's when Shichida first arrived in Australia.
Wow, so she started really young.
Yeah. Well, not as young as little Baba that we have now in our centers.
Yeah, but 20 months old, that's amazing. And she went through the entire Shichida program, so all the way up to 9 years old?
Correct, yes. And she enjoyed the entire journey all the way till graduating the program. Yeah.
That's great to hear. Yeah, we're going to have Jacqueline on next week's episode to talk about her experience at Shichida. But Joanne, would you say that Jacqueline has a good memory?
Definitely. In fact, through her journey, since she started Shichida, we've seen different stages of, her strong memory being applied in her daily life in school. Now she's in year 12, doing VCE subjects this year, and we're still seeing her being very strong in her study. I think we can comfortably say it's all attributed to her strong memory.
And would you say that Shichida helped facilitate her strong memory?
Definitely. Otherwise, I won't be working here in Shichida today.
That's right.
I'm a strong advocate. Yeah.
Yeah. I heard that you decided to apply for a job at Shichida after Jacqueline had finished at the program, right?
Correct. Jacqueline was the one who had the privilege to do the program from very young age until she graduated. So as a family, we graduated from the program. And for a few years, I realized I haven't stopped talking about Shichida since she graduated. And eventually I landed myself with a job here just because, I haven't stopped talking about it.
Fantastic. So yeah, I'm really happy to hear that Shichida has helped Jacqueline and is still helping her in her studies today. Probably Shichida has helped in a variety of ways, but since we're on this topic of memory specifically, now that you've kind of had some experience working at Shichida as well, so you've been on both ends. You've been at Shichida as a parent, but also at Shichida as a teacher and now a centre manager. Could you give our audience a little bit of an explanation as to how Shichida helps kids develop their memory skills? Like, what kind of techniques do we use?
Of course, yes. In Shichida, our program introduced a variety of memory exercises that help hone or polish children's memory. For example, we have the eidetic image exercises, primarily photographic memory. And we have the linking memory exercises. We also have the auditory memory exercises, which comes in various forms. For example, recitations of nursery rhymes, poems, and we also have the pen memory. All these are a range of some of many, many activities that we offer in our programs. And for children who started very young and continued through the entire program, they introduced different techniques. But of course, every child, every individual brains work differently. So it's important for us to introduce different techniques, and then each child or individual eventually will pick what works best for themselves. Yeah.
Okay. So it's almost like they have a tool belt, yeah? And we're just giving them lots of different memory tools that they could use, but they don't have to use, yeah? They could just pick their favorite one or the one that works best for them to use in the future.
Exactly.
And I guess different memory techniques might be better for memorizing different kinds of things. Like you mentioned recitation, right? We could use that kind of like a song to kind of learn the multiplication tables. But if we're trying to memorize a phone number, maybe photographic memory is a bit better for that.
Yes.
Or a peg memory technique even. So
Yes.
I guess it's really good that we give them a variety of tools that they can use in the future. But in terms of strengthening the memory as a whole, right, I heard that memory is almost like a muscle. And the more we work out that muscle, the stronger it gets.
Totally, 100%. Yeah. And I often give this example for parents who inquire or constantly asking what can they do to help the children to have strong memory and how to improve their skills in their learning in school. So I often say to them, practice and repetition is important. To strengthen a child's brain muscle, it's just like athletes who constantly go down to the courts or to the fields to practice every day. And for them to do daily practice, it's strengthening their muscles, and it also introduces muscle memory. That's for physical ability, but for our brain ability, it's just the same principle.
I see. So it's all about practice and repetition, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. And in terms of how memory helps kids learn, so you talked about how it helps kids kind of store memories, but also retrieve memories. So just when kids are trying to learn something, what is the process by which a child learns something? Let's say something like as simple as the alphabet.
They use all the different senses. They use the sight to recognize the alphabet. They use the sense of hearing to know the phonics of the alphabet, and later on the cognitive skills to decode how to put letters together and form a sound of words. And as they grow, they learn vocabulary to sentences to paragraph, and all the stages of development comes by layering effect through Shichida activities.
And the stronger their memory is, the stronger those foundations are, right? And that will kind of allow us to build on those foundations so that they can continue to grow in whichever subject that they're studying.
Of course, it's just like a computer. What is the capacity of their memory bank? So the stronger the memory is, the bigger the capacity and the more words or knowledge that they can store in their brain.
So really, kids never stop using their memory to learn, right? It's something that's always going to be helpful, having a good memory.
Definitely, especially for kids, because they have, the rest of their life, they have a whole future for them to develop their memories, their brain capacity. And the more that they're able to expand their brain capacity, the more knowledge they have. And the world become their oyster, they can do just about anything that they like. And the choices for their future become bigger for them. So I guess this is what all parents would like to provide for the children. And this is where Shichida comes, providing them with the appropriate tools to develop that skills. Yeah.
And this process of developing a strong, healthy memory, it starts quite early, right? Like you yourself enrolled Jacqueline when she was only 20 months old. Did you see a noticeable difference in how her memory improved, even when she was that young?
Yes. Definitely. She started at age 20 months old. Of course, that was still toddler age, and she's yet to be in kindergarten. So all we knew at that time, at the early stage when we first enrolled, was just having fun in class, trying to introduce as much information for a young child who's beginning to learn as possible. But as she grows into kindergarten age to primary school age, we could see how with her strong memory, she's able to learn very quickly. Mm-hmm. She learned to read very easily because she can recognize letters, words, very quickly learn to decode words, and therefore she learned to read very quickly. I still remember one day going to pick her up from kindergarten, her 3-year-old kindergarten. Just one day as I stepped into the kindergarten, the kinder teacher excitedly ran towards me and said, Jolene, guess what? Jacqueline raised her hand today and offered to read the storybook during story time.
Wow.
So at 3-year-old kinder, she was already reading storybook to the entire class.
Wow, that takes a lot of confidence.
Yes. So that's because from very young age, we were reading storybooks to her to entertain her at home, nighttime story, and even during free time. So she's always enjoyed children's stories. So at kindergarten, during story time, observing the teacher reading to the children every kindergarten session. So one day she just thought, okay, I can do that too. Why not? Today I raised my hand and volunteered to read. So that's the first thing that we notice at very young age. And of course, into primary school, the skills applied in different areas. And up until secondary school now, we see it being applied in different ways, of course, because she's doing VCE subject. One of her favorite subjects in school is philosophy. And because of her love for reading, she reads a lot, and for the subject philosophy, they need to memorize quotes from famous philosophers where they need to cite in their examination papers. So the more that you're able to memorize, the stronger you are in sitting for philosophy examinations, because you never know what kind of questions that will pop up during exam. So you'll be able to apply the appropriate quotes from different philosophers at different times. So that's a strength that I can see now.
And I guess that's the beauty of having a good memory, is that it is applicable to pretty much everything that your kid might become interested in the future. Like if they, it seems Jacqueline is interested in the literary arts, but, it's helpful if your child is more prone to being interested in music. It would help them memorize musical scores. If your child is interested in sports, it would help them memorize tactics and plays and techniques. So that's the power of a good memory, right? It's that it opens the door to just unlocking your talents in anything that you become interested in the future.
Absolutely, Dan, because like you said, apart from studies in academic area, Jacqueline can also apply her memory skills in her leisurely hobby. For example, her love for playing the piano, the music. She learns piano through Suzuki method, not the traditional, because, we just want her to enjoy music. And that's what she is doing with her piano. She just plays for fun and not for sitting for exams. But there was this longest piece that she learned in the recent months that was the sonata. And the entire piece has 20 pages of music scores. And she can play the whole piece without any music scores on the piano. So she's playing from memory.
Oh, wow, that's incredible. I'll have to ask her about that next week, Joanne.
Yes, ask her for the tips then.
Yeah, 100%. But thank you so much, Joanne, for all of your useful tips and for your time as well. Remember, everybody, your baby is learning and absorbing information from day one, so it's never too early to start supporting their learning. The Shichida program is a weekly 50-minute learning program using fun brain-boosting techniques for children aged 0 to 9. Each class accelerates your child's development by providing the vital elements for them to thrive and excel. For more information on how the Shichida program has been helping parents and kids get an early start on education, visit www.shichida.com.au. You can enter the coupon code FUN50 to receive 50% off your first lesson. Alternatively, you can follow us on Instagram at Shichida Australia. You can join our Facebook group to be part of the conversation, or you can subscribe to our YouTube channel to get instant access to a wealth of parenting and early childhood education videos. Join us next week as we invite Join's daughter Jacqueline onto the show to talk us through her Shichida experience as a child. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you again, Join, for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me, Dan.
Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.